Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers.
Oh, look at that. So professional. No one noticed that at all.
I didn't put a hole through the wall.
That is a good
Seamlessly.
introduction.
Is our special guest, Rob Fudley. And of course, you know Matt, who's here most weeks with his Harry Potter scar going really well.
It's looking pretty good, actually. I'm quite proud of it.
It comes up really good on the camera there.
Yeah, I need a high definition camera to really show off the
And
horrific injury.
I've got another new hat for everyone watching.
I think that's the real star of the show, the hats.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's what the fans want, is to see the different hat each week.
Also, if anyone wants Dave to wear his hat backwards, feel free to comment, because I think if 5 people say they want the hat backwards, Dave has to wear the hat backwards.
That's right.
It's a legal requirement.
Yeah. Bugger what my wife says. If enough fans want
don't listen to your wife. Your wife knows nothing about hats.
Just waiting for her to come through in the comments.
I went to buy a Latifi hat during the week, but I really didn't want to spend the $60 to get it.
Wait, they're $60.
Yeah.
They're cheaper than the normal ones.
Yeah, you think the further back on the grid they are, the cheaper the hat would be.
I would expect him to be $10. We've got one vote for Matt.
Actually, it should be the other way. The ones up the front should be the cheapest, and the guys down the back who need the money, it should be more expensive.
Trust me, Latifi does not need the money. the word Canadian billionaire is thrown around far too often in Formula One.
Dave, you got 2 on the backwards hat. Just giving you an update. Okay, we're getting close to.
We'll keep track of it. We'll put down 2. We're not far off. Okay, we've got some motorsport to talk about.
We have a lot of motorsport from what I studied today.
So we've got Spanish Grand Prix, Indy 500, and Monaco Grand Prix. So not much happened in the Spanish Grand Prix.
We're not talking about the rallycross.
Well, we can if you want, but I haven't got any notes on that. So we'll start small and see how we go with a strict 1 hour time limit.
Keep it. Oh, to the left, Dave. We've got a wild card here. To the left, actually, that's.
I can't do the left with the having the earphones on.
Oh, yeah, that's a point.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Well, I think that's more of a Dave problem and not a. I feel like I need to get my hats out of storage. I feel left out.
Well, when you move in soon, you'll be fine.
Yep.
So, shall we start on Formula One?
Yes.
Yeah. Where would you like to start with the Spanish Grand Prix, Matt?
I would like to ask Dave, to the people, does it look like Mercedes is getting better now?
They're back.
It looks, and it is my also, I believe last week I made a wild prediction that was mocked, and rightly so, that Russell would get on the podium. I'm just saying, I finally got one right.
He was on the podium, wasn't he?
He was on the podium.
Yes.
I was so proud of myself because, like people say, a broken clock is right twice a day. So that's 1 from about 9 now, Dave.
I was surprised at the progress they made that quickly.
How OP was Hamilton's engine for him to get from a minute back to...
Yeah. What was he in the end? He was only about 20 seconds or something back.
Yeah.
Oh, my audio.
Crazy. So if he's making up that much time, he should have. If he was on or he didn't get knocked out, he should have won.
I'm just checking.
My.
It should be the right microphone.
54 seconds he was back.
54, and where did he end up in the end?
6 or 7?
Fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many seconds behind was he from?
54 seconds.
Oh, in total. So he didn't really make up any time overall on Max.
No, I guess not.
But on everyone else he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but for where they were at the start of the season, to then to be kind of a minute behind and then end up a minute behind. Yeah.
It would be nice if there was a three-way tussle at the front. It
would definitely make it more interesting. Yeah. And probably give Leclerc a little bit of leeway for Max catching up. Although apparently Horner wants bigger budget them to slacken off the budget cap so that they can spend more on development or whatever.
I feel like they've already spent most of their cap already. And
haven't Red Bull in a bit of trouble with how much they've spent and done?
Well, who knows though how much they're actually spending on that without, they could have the junior engineer or whatever doing all the work. So
to get around the salary cap kind of thing.
Well, maybe they get paid directly by Red Bull for endorsing their products on Instagram or something like that.
So what you're saying is the junior ones have TikTok accounts and they're paid in secret Red Bull dollars, and they get a. Because I mean, it's not the first.
It's a bit like the salary cap in AFL.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone follows the AFL, but a while ago, a young player named Chris Judd got around the salary cap by becoming the king of cardboard, and one of their sponsors gave him something like $250K a year to spruik cardboard.
Yeah, or
so
maybe their wife has a job where they work for Red Bull
in the marketing team or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's all sorts of ways around it. Creativity.
I have another question, Dave. Actually, I noticed. This is another noticing of a F1 genius. When you take off from the grid, I've noticed there's two tactics. One, you keep your line, or two, you quickly swerve into the middle. Is there...
Or across the front of your competitor.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the that's the third wildcard option. But is there a tactic depending on where you are on the grid to take this? I
think it depends probably more on how good a start you get, and then who's around you.
Because I think one of the Ferrari drivers didn't get a very good start this.
Carlos.
Yeah, he stalled it or something.
Do we need to ask which Ferrari had it? Other than a mechanical issue. I did see a funny meme the other day, though. No gravel traps in Monaco, so Carlos is fine.
So just crash into the wall then.
That's Leclerc's job.
Hasn't he already done that? Isn't it like you get it out of your system?
He's already had his DNF.
Yeah, you get it out of your system, so you're good for the next week.
Yeah.
So you remember where that turn is, and not to go,
Don't go straight.
Yeah, don't go straight. Keep turn.
Was that how many DNFs does Leclerc have now? 2? Imola.
Yeah, I think it's only the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was somewhere else where he threw away. Well, was that Imola?
Imola was where,
he
didn't he?
But it was bad. As we try and remember everything, this is great viewing.
Remember when that thing happened?
Yeah. Come on. The what is it? The chat room.
The brains trust. The people that are smarter than us.
Yeah. Someone's going to have Google out there.
Everyone seems.
Yeah, it's only one. Yeah, I thought it was because that's what they said during the commentary.
He did poorly in the last. Yeah.
Still finished, doesn't it count?
So, yeah, but that was a bit of a silly one because he should have really in the position he's in. He should have played with the numbers and gone for second or third or whatever it was rather than 8th or 9th, I think. So
spun out, continued.
It was nearly a pointless race, as Lewis would say. And we were once again jumping on the radio. We may as well retire. And then he finishes 4th.
Yeah.
I
have someone came up to me and I slap.
Yeah. Well, any other things from Spain?
The Red Bull and their DRS, the little flappy bit at the
Apparently,
back.
if you punch at the button 50 times, it still doesn't
Yeah,
work.
if the race engineer tells you just keep pushing the button, it sounds like tech support, to be honest. Have you tried turning the DRS off and on again?
But it was
And
weird as well
Verstappen
how,
didn't seem very happy with that answer.
yeah, but they were telling him to like hit the curbs and then push
I
the
thought it
button.
was the
So
opposite.
it's like
I
they
thought
were
it was
trying to
up.
dislodge it. Yeah, but
I
it was
thought
like
it was that you hit the curb that stuffed it up, and then they had to keep pushing the.
Yeah, the way I heard it was that hit the curbs and then push the button. Like there was something jamming up in it, and smacking the curbs was kind of
Push it 49 times, and then on the 50th time, it unlocks the DRS mode. It's like an old video game cheat. Just push X 50 times, DRS unlocked.
It's like those idiots.
That's right. AB.
I'm just going to look for this audio settings and see if I can turn up my audio.
You've ruined the. Also, there was the two crashes in the same corner. I was listening to the commentary that it was because it was windy on the day, but very windy in that single corner. Both the Staines and Verstappen had the same like misfortune with the wind, but just in that little area. Like there was a Super Mario cloud just blowing at a certain time for them.
We wait until we get into the Indy qualifying and the winds taking the cars and how much it affects that. Is that audio sound a bit better?
Like the voice of an angel, Dave.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Just go buy yourself a $30 microphone off it.
Look at
is that
the
an Amazon
here,
one?
Dave.
Oh, yeah.
I did look at it. Kmart's got some. I think they're $35 or something. Apparently, they work all right.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is like $30-$40. It comes with the arm and everything. It's a little bent and broken, and it does the job.
I think maybe next week, Dave, I might be in a more professional studio.
Oh, in an actual
studio.
Yeah.
There won't be much in the studio, but
stuck here for a while, but
yeah.
we're getting there. Anyway. So does that cover off Spain?
I have some other questions, Dave.
Okay, let's
go. Just things that I noticed because I was thinking, does the Mr. Ginger Spice, they got footage of him filming the pit stops. Don't they? Was he just doing that for his own benefit, or is that actually?
Was he doing it on his phone?
No, he was doing it on an actual stopwatch.
Timing it.
Yeah, I would have thought they had a proper way of doing it, not just.
Yeah, I did see there was someone else that was timing pit stops like that as well. I think that might have been in the supercars. And I thought it's a bit strange standing there with a stopwatch.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit weird. That I'm sure he's got other things to worry about than.
Yeah, because they have like special cameras and that to film the pit stops and that, so that they can review it back in like 1,000 frames a second or whatever.
And then sell it to Netflix, afterwards. Obviously for Drive to Survive season.
I think Netflix does their own recording on that kind of stuff. So I wonder what the big talking point's going to be for season 5 of Netflix.
I'm going to guess and say there'll be an episode about the pressures of being Daniel Ricciardo. and they'll play in memory of Dan Ricciardo as he potentially doesn't get to drive next year and misses out on Las Vegas, the only race that I think he wants to do.
He'll be fine.
Oh no! I think a lot of most of these F1 drivers will be fine after F1. Like you don't need to feel sorry for them.
I think he'll be around next year.
You reckon? They're not gonna because didn't his boss say that he was?
He's got I'm pretty sure he's still got, I think it was a 3-year contract. And who are you going to replace him with?
There'll be performance clauses and
Yeah. But he's probably hitting them anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's not.
Near the back.
He's not. Yeah, he's not doing that bad. When you drill it down, it just doesn't look great at the moment. But then you could say the same thing about like what Hamilton's done next to Russell this year.
Yeah.
Like if you just look at the headline figures, Hamilton looks like he's done junk. But if you drill down a little bit,
how long's Hamilton got left on his contract?
Did he sign 2 years?
Yeah, I think that was a 2-year from the start of this year.
Okay, so he'll have. So potentially next year there'll be the last of the older crew.
Yeah.
They can all have a legends race at Las Vegas, and then.
I think Alonso's going to be a bit questionable for next year.
Didn't he say he wanted to do next year as well?
Yeah, but they've got Ocon under contract, and then they've got to do something with Piastri.
Yeah.
Graham. Sorry, I was just going to say, is Norris actually sick, or was he just sick on the day?
I think he's been sick for a while.
Yeah, well, he had tonsillitis.
Yeah, but is that enough to
Not COVID.
Yeah, not like last year where
Tonsillitis.
Russell got to race because people got COVID. Can you be replaced for tonsillitis?
Well, you can be replaced for anything.
It's true.
Okay. They did actually offer Piastri to McLaren when Ricardo had COVID at the start of the year. So I'm sure if Norris is not going to be well for Monaco. But they've also got Hülkenberg, I think is one of the Mercedes guys who's on offer, plus Van Dorn and De Vries.
De Vries, yeah.
Who did De Vries test with?
Isn't he Mercedes?
Yeah, but he tested with someone else, I think, the other.
I can't remember. Who tested with Red Bull on the weekend?
Red Bull, was that Yuri Vips?
Yeah, Vips, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty good driver. He might do well. But Red Bull's got who's the Kiwi Law?
Yeah, Liam Lawson and Duravala or someone as well, I think.
Yeah.
So Red Bulls, they're in a hard position though, because what do you get rid of Tsunoda?
Yeah.
Who's not doing a terrible job. You got to keep Gasly there.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, but neither of those guys are good enough to promote. Neither of them are a Perez replacement, but I still think they need someone to replace Perez.
Well, they haven't really done much this year. They've just kind of been in the background. Yeah.
Just
Quite
quickly, Dave.
disappointing.
F1 hat simulator. Don't all F1 drivers live in Monaco? Just for
not so.
because of the weather. It's no other reason. They just like the weather there. It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
I mean, Seb lives in Switzerland.
Yeah, well, Switzerland's also very nice.
Motorsport as a career, so you don't have to pay tax on something that's not recognised as a career. Just saying.
And then have your 1-bedroom apartment in Monaco just purely for an address. That you live in what is it?
181.
187 days a year or something.
This weekend's real convenient for them.
I was going to say, they'll all be there, won't they? They're just any F1 driver who's not currently driving, they'll probably be there anyway to get a couple of days in.
I'm surprised they don't have a tower there, called F1 Tower, where
because that would be taking the piss and then purely showing, we call this the tax haven. It's got 20 rooms for every F1 driver during the year.
I'm sure it's not only F1 drivers doing it either.
Well, you'd have a big tower, Dave. You'd have it right in the middle, and then you'd have, a bunch of sports people can just live there.
So when Leclerc was a little bit younger and lived, he's from there. Did he do his equivalent of chap laps? Was just driving around the track?
I imagine his chap laps were a lot better than ours and instead of a V,
crashing classic Ferraris.
yeah,
Is there a KFC along the way you can do skids out the front of?
no. When did I went there about 7 years ago? There's yeah, essentially it's just fancy cars the whole time. I think there's a law that you can't drive anything that's not worth less than $1 million, and you can't park anything outside that main hotel that's not a supercar.
If you live there, you're not allowed to go to the casino.
Oh, I didn't go in. Don't be silly. I was. They don't let scum like me into the casino.
Your type's not allowed here.
Just walk past and throw cash at it.
They essentially like you can stand 20 meters back, but that's as far as you can go. Now, excuse me. That's yeah, it's a very very fancy place. I think there's an entry somewhere around it that just checks your car first. You know, anyone driving a Mazda CX-3 probably wouldn't be getting in very close to that place. Yes, the F1 hotel. No, that'd be fantastic. That's a great idea. Just get some. What's the Who was it that has that lived? Yeah, is it Nick, one of the Rosbergs that drives one of those Gullwing Mercedes, and he took it for a drive around Monaco because he had it stored in a car vault or something. They must have a lot of
Probably.
Yeah, they must have a lot of these car vaults with just ridiculous cars that you know, F1 drivers can crash into. I assume, Dave, that's where all the Ferrari that got crashed, was that stored in Monaco, or are they flown in?
Oh, I would assume they'd fly them in because the people who own them and that would have the amount of money to just send them around. Yeah. We would probably wouldn't be flown, but driven in
on a giant truck or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rosbergs, that's right, because they had a video of him just driving. He's like, this car's worth a lot. Let me go to my underground lair because I'm not a, you know,
super villain.
I'm not a super villain. We've already got one of those in the F1, and he sells $60 hats to poor unfortunate people.
I'm not sure if the Canadians live in Monaco.
What, do they pay tax? I mean, do they not like the weather? Outrageous.
They've got their fathers to look after their tax dealings.
Oh, because they've probably got all their money in a trust, Dave, and then that money's based in Monaco, and so that's okay.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere special.
That increased tax.
They've all got
They get their pocket money.
Yeah, can you tax pocket money?
Yeah, I'd love to see that written on a tax form. I now gave my son $52 million pocket money because every week I give him $1 million because one of my kids keeps crashing priceless Ferraris into walls, and panel beating's not cheap.
He got $6 million from the Tooth Fairy. How do you stuff that under the pillow?
Wake up with a real sore neck.
Yeah, it's all Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus. They all. But the thing is, they turn up every week. It's amazing. They're just real efficient.
That stack Santa has is just cash.
Yeah. He's like a tradie on the weekends. Just everything's done in cash. No one needs to know.
Comes in the fireplace. He's just like flipping money everywhere. Dance, Stroll, dance.
Now, Stoll, he's done this all on his own, and Daddy Warbucks didn't give him anything at all. He's just a
the
good
most talented driver.
Yeah. It's just the problem is the money makes it look like he's just a rich kid on the circuit.
Yeah. No, anyone who can crash into Latifi has got problems.
Where did my favorite James Bond villain finish in the Spanish Grand Prix? I didn't actually write that down.
Begins with 1, I think.
Okay, so my prediction of him maybe getting a
He finished,
podium
though.
is a bit off.
Yeah.
Oh, he finished.
Latifi. Yeah, I think it was-
Latifi passed Magnussen near the end. Had a great pass on him.
What happened to Magnussen?
No idea. He hit Hamilton, and one of them
Oh,
got
he
superpowers.
got hit by Hamilton really early on, and Dave, you're not gonna appreciate this, but I don't think Hamilton was at fault for that. It's a bit off brand for me, but I think it was correct of what he did, and so what's his name on the radio? I think Hamilton just said, "I better pit," and then the other guy's like, "Oh, Hamilton came in and like tried to attack me." He just came out of nowhere and just
that was K-Mac's fault. That one.
Yeah, it wasn't. And again, it won't be often that I defend Mr. Hamilton, so let's keep that to a minimum.
That was similar to, was it Norris and trying to think who he cut off in Miami when he kind of chopped around him.
Oh yeah, and he got taken out by
But was it Norris and Gasly?
Yeah, but he got taken out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas this one was just a slight bump, and he's ridden into the kitty litter, and. But yeah, like I said, I don't think Hamilton was at fault there.
No.
Yeah.
Which is
I think the racing incident was fairly correct.
Yeah, well, it was first lap and all of that. So yeah. But it was a bit of a rookie-ish error from Magnussen.
Yeah.
I just like the radio bit where he literally said Hamilton came after him, essentially. Again, he's a world champion. I don't think he's going to come after you. Like the arrogance to think that you're a threat to Lewis Hamilton is quite incredible.
Ericsson hit me.
He's probably never even seen you before. Lewis Hamilton's like, who are these other teams? I've only seen like 3 other teams. I didn't even know we had.
What's a Haas?
I thought there was only 4 teams in this competition. I don't even know of these other teams. Who are these other people that I keep seeing that are holding me back?
You're the guy who used to lap.
Yeah.
You're the guy that gets in my way at like lap 50 when I'm like, yeah.
Where are those blue flags that get you out of the way?
What about Red Bull Aston Martin?
Is that the copying?
That's
the
that
new
one. Yeah. Chasing Point 2.0.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Racing Point, Dave. They are a quality organisation.
Someone mentioned it to me on Friday, and I said, I haven't seen the photos yet. And I thought, I can't be that bad. And then you saw it, and you're like, yeah.
I think Dave, it's like that meme. Can I copy your homework? Yes, just make sure it's not too obvious. And then essentially,
put a paint job on it.
Yeah, it's just like quick. Just paint it a different color. No one will notice the difference. It's like when someone copies your test and they write your name on the top of the test as well, and they forget to change their name.
Do you reckon that they at the start of the year they're like, Red Bull's the quickest or whatever, we better copy them kind of thing, and then over the weekend when they've realised how fast Mercedes is going to be, do you reckon they kind of went, oh fuck, we copied the wrong one, we better start?
Maybe they have multiple different ones. They have like the scoops for the Ferrari to put on, or the Mercedes goldfish.
Yeah, I reckon.
Try all the theories.
Yeah, they've quickly traced Red Bull with like a day to go, and then realised Mercedes could be better. So they've got the other tracing, put them both on top, and just copied the bits that work, and then found out that the AirPods don't work. So they've erased that out and gone, we'll put these AirPods, not these AirPods. And then we'll hand it in as our own. And then when you have to explain it, just go, it just came to me in a dream.
We had this in the wind tunnel in November.
Yeah. You know when they ask you, show your working out, Dave, you go, I did have it, but I threw it all out. You don't ask. I did it all. This is what I got.
The dog ate my homework.
Yeah, please do not check any further into this. I have done my work.
Trust me.
Yeah.
We've been to court over this before, should we? Right?
Yeah. This is not our first rodeo. We'll be fine.
Just don't copy the brake ducks again.
Is it number 2? Is that the second time or?
This is the second time that
Yeah.
yeah, Aston Martin, Stroll, Force Point, India. Yeah, he said I think the Mercedes was a bit more a full copy, whereas this is the side pods and that. Yeah,
This is they copied some of the answers, not all of them, because they didn't want to make it look too suspicious.
Yeah.
We might get away with it if we just do bits and bits.
But it's also like the stupidest kid in class copying the smartest person. It looks kind of obvious when suddenly you go from you don't know anything to, oh, you're doing pretty well.
The funny thing was they weren't really that much more competitive this weekend.
No.
I didn't think. They were still in that mid-pack. Or probably
Graham, I don't think they lie, Graham. I think they just tell a story that paints them in a more positive light.
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
Or the truth?
Do you want to hear the truth or my recollection of what happened when someone's plans accidentally fell on my desk and Dave said, Matt, we should return these, wink, wink. And then I said, in just a minute. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
IndyCar.
IndyCar.
Or do we want to do a quick Monaco predictions first?
Ooh.
Leclerc hits the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm saying a Ferrari hits a wall.
Leclerc's.
Yep. Okay.
Leclerc on pole. Leclerc bins it halfway through the race, and Max wins.
I mean, I see you're going for the risky option there.
Yeah. Something different.
And one of the Canadians doesn't finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McLaren wins. Oh.
Ricky Bobby in about 14th.
You reckon Dan's not having he's going to continue having a subpar?
I kind of wish Dan won at Miami so he could do the dive into the water.
The fake water?
Yeah.
Water.
That was if Dan does win the Monaco F1, do you think Red Bull will let him dive into the Red Bull pool?
Yeah.
You reckon they'll?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
He'd probably be the other one that would do it too.
Yeah, well, he does seem like the kind of guy that even when he does a shoey, no one wants to do a shoey. But they all have to do a shoey because everyone's watching. And it's just peer group pressure.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Dave, drink out of my dirty shoe. I don't want to. Too bad. 1 million people are watching you. You look like a loser. Do you want to be a loser, Dave? You want to be a winner in front of all your friends. I'll talk about you. Now drink out of my dirty shoe. But that's purely why I just want Dan to win, because nothing funnier than watching the fancy people of Monaco watch an Australian drink a beer out of the shoe. That's the most Australian thing ever now. So
that's what the rest of the world thinks we all do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going overseas soon, Dave. I'm not going to I'm just going to tell them that's how we drink everything now.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my drinking shoe while I was overseas though, so I can't do it. You'll just have to trust me.
Well, I'm going to go out there and say Bottas first, Sainz second. Yep.
Oh.
Carlos second. Maybe Perez or Verstappen third.
Well, so still at Red Bull in the podium.
Yeah, at least one.
Well, the easy money is Verstappen winning.
Yep.
But I'd be going Russell as a roughie this weekend.
Yeah,
because I think they're not going to have the porpoising because you haven't got the speed to have the porpoising problem. And traditionally, Monaco isn't a good hunting ground for Hamilton. He has struggled
Leclerc
there a
seems
lot
to
in
be
the past.
Leclerc seems to be a pretty good qualifier. Like he's pretty good for that one lap. He's always a chance to pole.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard the Russell bandwagon. I think now that he's on the podium, I think now's a good time to get on in the bandwagon.
You've been following him since day one.
I've seen, as a Russell fan of 5 minutes ago, I would like to say that it's an outrage that you guys badmouth his name. I just feel that he's gone through enough, and he will. I think he will get a podium again. Yeah.
I'd just like to see someone else win because it's just been Leclerc and Max so far.
Yeah, and especially because both of their teammates as well should be competitive. And then,
I'd like to see Max and Leclerc crash in like the first or second corner, and then Hamilton plow into them.
Yeah.
Actually,
and then it's a fight between the number twos.
Dave, I was going to say, who's the? Well, you got Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, probably like the top three teams. Who would be the number 4 team? Like if the top 3 were just to take each other out, so we get a different winner, would that be McLaren?
Yeah, but it's really been varying this year. Because Bottas has been kind of best of the rest a lot of the time. And
last race was Bottas and the Alpha Ocon.
Yeah, I was going to say Alpines have been quite up there.
Actually,
as well.
Akimar the wild card, Ocon to get a podium as well. Ocon and George together at last on the podium.
What about Nando?
I think he's due for a podium, even a third.
Yeah, I would like a completely different podium at Monaco.
I'd like to see 3 people who have never been on a podium up there.
And then they can all hug like best friends because they've all they all got accepted into their college of choice, like in those American movies, and they can high five eeach other.
So, is that 3 new podium or 3 new podium at Monaco?
It's just 3 new. So
3 new.
Because you'd be searching a fair way down before you found
Schumacher,
guys who hadn't been on the podium. Yeah.
Schumacher, Stroll, Latifi, maybe.
Stroll's had many podiums. Stroll's the greatest driver ever.
Okay, so it's Schumacher, Latifi, and Guanyu Zhou.
Oh, the Alpha driver that never seems to finish, and he seems to be like a background character in
Sonoda hasn't had a podium yet either.
Actually, I'd like to see Sonoda up there. I reckon he'd go up on the podium. The bottle of wine would be almost as big as him. Stand there trying to shake it.
I would like to see him need help from one of the officials to hold the bottle of wine, the champagne, because he couldn't open it because it like topples him over.
Take it off him. You're not old enough to have champagne. Oh, really? 21? Sure thing, buddy.
I mean, Russell doesn't look much older than. I think in America he'd be asked for ID a couple of times.
At least he's got the right height.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he looks like he should be in bed after a while because it's a school night and he's Mum didn't leave the porch light on, so he's going to be stumbling home in the dark. It's just.
I can see him in like a private school blazer.
Yes.
I definitely think he was a private school boy.
Yeah.
I'd imagine most of them were private school boys.
I'm surprised he's not a rower or something.
We don't know that yet, do we? he probably played polo. Actually, polo in yachting.
Oh, look, lacrosse.
Well, lacrosse is another
special boys school game.
Okay.
So we're going for the safe options: Ferrari to crash, Red Bull to win, and someone else to.
Who are we doing? Lando or Russell to win?
I'm going Bottas.
I'm going Russell to get on the podium again.
As long as we don't take any notes about this, we're fine.
No, there's no record.
Next week.
There's no record of it, so no one can come back and tell me that I got my things wrong. I only remember the wins.
This will be on the internet forever.
You delete this stream on Sunday afternoon, don't you?
I just edit out the bits where we have our prediction. I edit over the top.
Dave edits out any of my stupid ideas, so he's just all night just cutting out footage.
We got about 3 seconds of video.
It's just Dave saying, "Welcome to the show. Good night."
So, Indy 500.
Yeah.
The big race this weekend.
How's anyone going to win both? How can you win the trifecta in the same year?
Well, that's what I was going to ask, Dave. One of my questions.
Step one: qualify for Indy 500.
Okay. Is
because someone had a bit of difficulty last time they tried to win it.
Can anyone get the triple motorsport at this point now, Dave?
The triple.
Fernando's Triple Crown. Yeah, there's Fernando and Montoya, I think, are the two
closest.
But Montoya's not going to come back to F1.
No, but they're saying the Monaco Grand Prix, but Montoya could do Le Mans.
Yeah. Has he won? Has he won Monaco?
Yeah, he won the Monaco Grand Prix, and he's got a couple of 500s.
Okay.
So
he's not. So he's pretty close.
Yeah.
It depends what you classify as the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I thought it was Monaco.
Monaco,
500.
Le Mans, and the Indy 500.
Yeah.
I think was it Graham Hill was the only one to have done it previously.
He did
Graham Hill.
the big one though, didn't he? He was an F1 champion, Monaco, and because there was a different one beforehand.
Graham Hill and Jacques Villeneuve.
Villeneuve never won Le Mans, did he?
Oh, that's Formula One world champion. Hang on.
This is the problem when we try and
when we go off script.
Learn. There's a script.
Learn on the go. It's a teachable moment. We're all learning together.
So Graham
Hill.
Graham Hill.
Oh, here we go. Monaco, Le Mans, Indy. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hat.
Zanardi's never running again.
Yeah.
That's an unfortunate
Jacques
joke.
Indy 500 and F1. So all he has to do is Monaco.
That's easy. You just turn up. It's 24 hours. How?
Well, what you do is you enter in a team where there's only or a year where there's only one team that can possibly win.
Like
Toyota. You don't need to win the full thing. You just need to win your class.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Dave? If we were to enter, say, I don't know, an old Mazda CX-3 in the shit division, and just putter around for 24 hours, we would technically be a team of 24-hour Le Mans champions.
What is it? Garage 54.
I'm just saying, Dave. We've got 3 of us. That's enough. That's enough for a 24-hour team.
We could do 24 hours of driving between us.
I mean, Dave, I know you did 15 in one go, so you're more than qualified.
That was a long day.
I think we should start petitioning companies to get Jacques into 24 hours. Making the second greatest racer behind Graham Hill.
I've got much better things to do with my time.
Dave, don't lie. Why do you lie, Dave? Why must you lie to your fans, Dave?
He raced not long ago in NASCAR.
What was that, like 2012 or something?
No, this year. He did
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and he didn't do too bad.
Because he was pretty horrific when he came over here to race supercars.
I didn't actually know he did that.
Yeah, he came over for one of the Gold Coast ones where they had the internationals that had to crash the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, drive.
You mean turn up for a holiday in Queensland and
some were better than others at it.
So what you're saying is some might be invited back and some might not.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious who wasn't getting invited back next year and things like that. So Matt, you got some Indy 500 questions.
I looked up Indy 500. Now, Dave, as you know, I am a big fan of drinking milk, and I found out Indy 500 has one of my favourite activities, traditions, and that is drinking a litre of milk. Because as you know, Dave, I'm still the undisputed milk drinking champion between us all. I believe it was 17 seconds for a litre of milk. We can find that video later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some of these traditions they have at the Indy 500 now.
Did you look up why they did?
Yeah, so I think it was Frenchman drank it years ago. Essentially, all I got was he did a race, and at the end of it, he thought nothing better than to drink a litre of milk, which is how I think after pretty much anything.
I thought it had something to do with the sponsor thing.
No, it started off as some guy's his mum or his nan or something told him it was good for him to drink buttermilk on a hot day. So he got out of the car and drank buttermilk.
Yeah, because they ask all the drivers, Dave, what flavour milk you would like, but it has to be plain. Because one of the Indy drivers wanted chocolate milk, and they said no. And then another guy, this is how seriously they take it, Dave. One of the other guys didn't drink milk; he drank orange juice and got booed.
Yeah,
because that's how seriously they take their milk drinking.
But I think sorry.
People still hating for it in some places of America for drinking orange juice.
Who was it?
It was a Brazilian guy. He was promoting Brazilian oranges, and he thought he was just doing it to and like you said, they don't like him very much because he drank orange juice and not milk.
Americans for you.
And they get a $10,000 award if they drink the milk. And you get booed if you don't drink the milk.
So what you're saying is I've been missing out on $10,000 awards for my entire life.
Yeah.
That's just disappointing. And then the other one I also had to see was the brick start finish line.
Yes.
Which they kiss at the start of the race, I believe.
At the end.
At the end?
Yeah. The winner now. Because someone did it a few years ago, so now they all do it afterwards, get the photo of them kissing.
Graham, was that the guy that drank the orange juice?
No.
No?
It was...
Also, official Gibbo, that's a good idea. Quad Crown, add Bathurst to it. Just bring some international...
the 12 hour? Or Supercars.
There's only one problem about Bathurst.
Yep.
And it didn't happen last weekend or whatever it was.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dale Jarrett was the guy who kissed the bricks the first time in 1996.
Oh, so that
would have been a NASCAR race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, NASCAR Brickyard.
Yeah.
And picked up by IndyCar drivers from 2003.
Oh, so it's not a new tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bathurst 1000 would have to be the Triple Crown, the Quad Crown.
Yeah.
I think my favorite's the last row party for the three cars at the end of the qualifying. So 31, 32, 33. They have to go to a press club party. They get given massive checks, and they get 31 cents, 32 cents, and 33 cents on their
Wow.
And they go and it's like a cocktail party they go to, and the money goes to charity for the people who buy tickets.
I assume they top it up because giving 32 cents to charity is kind of an insult to whatever charity.
That's what the drivers get for their position on the green.
So if you're really bad at qualifying, they insult you with a giant novelty check so everyone can see you finished 32nd. Here's your 32-cent check that cost us $40 to print out. But you need to hold this everywhere.
Yeah.
In the old days, though, that being on that back row was a big thing because you would have more cars trying to enter the race than just the 33 starters. So that was a big thing to actually be in the race. Whereas this year, obviously, with only 33 entered, it's a little bit different. Which saw a little bit of a different attitude towards the qualifying as well. The guys who are quite comfortably in were dropping their times essentially to have another crack at it, which is why McLaughlin ended up 26th and Rossi was 27th, I think,
Yeah.
because both of them were a lot further up, but then dropped their times to try and go better, but conditions weren't there. So, yeah. So you got any predictions, Matt?
I was just going to go with my. I was learning the history of IndyCar to learn the family tree of IndyCars. I found out is quite complicated.
Oh, how long
Essentially, it went from an old from what the family tree that I've drawn, and it's probably slightly off. They had old cars. They split into two sets of cars, which were rear wheel drive and front wheel drive. The front wheel drive cars turned into sprint cars, and then they turned into stock cars, Indy cars, and kart. Kart turned into champ cars, and then champ cars and Indy cars sort of blended together. And you have this weird. Essentially, in the end, everyone became best friends, but for like many years, they were just having different wacky,
the split was a bit bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I made it kind of, Disney friendly story, brush over it a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, you do wonder where the sport would be if they didn't buck it up for 15 years or whatever it was.
They wanted the split was because one guy wanted the team to be all white Americans driving. he didn't like having Brazilians and things like that.
Yeah.
And we all know that always goes well when you have just an all white thing. I think the baseball tried that.
Foreigners took our jibs.
Yeah,
they took our jibs. So yeah, they weren't happy with all these names they couldn't pronounce.
Yeah, well. I don't know, Dave, if you remember when watching the Brownlow, watching the AFL commissioner read out any name that wasn't Smith, and struggling with any name that had a couple more consonants in it that it needed to. They want good old IndyCar names. Like who's the guy that had the surname of Speed? That's
Scott Speed.
Scott Speed. Yeah. That's a good name. It seems fake, but it's a good name to have. In IndyCar.
We got Will Power, the Australian.
Will Power?
Yeah. I mean, see, he's fine because that's a straightforward name. Yeah. Scott McLaughlin.
That's. I'd be called Matt Fast. I think I'd change my name to Matt Fast, but I would become dead last every race, and that would be the joke.
There's never actually been a Smith who's raced at IndyCar or Indy 500 of the 800 plus drivers that have ever been on there.
Oh,
even though it's the most common.
That's a fun fact that we just learned today.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Indy commentator. The Australian guy just seems to be full of facts, and he's always just banging out.
I'll let you know a little secret. He probably has someone else that's feeding him those facts during the race.
Yeah, it would surprise me.
You mean like right now Rob's getting Mr. Google to give him some fun facts? He doesn't know all of this. He's not as smart as he makes out to be.
These were actually things I read earlier today while I was on lunch at work.
The clicking of the mechanical keyboard gives it away sometimes.
Yeah, see, Lee's right. I think Max Power is the best name for any type of racing. I feel like you should be able to change your name, or something like. What was the there were some racing games where they always gave them like stupid names like Johnny Clutch, and that's the kind of name you need. Scott Slow, that's a good one. But Scott Slow, he'd always finish on the podium, whereas Matt Fast, he would always I'd be called Matt Reliable, and I'd never finish. I just blow up the engine every time. My jokes are fantastic and properly thought through.
Yeah. Everybody laughs.
Yeah, they're laughing with me, not at me.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. Before we do this, Dave, I look into the mirror and go, "You're hilarious," and you know what you're talking about, Matt. Don't listen to everyone else. Actually, also, Dave, I watched the just because I had extra time. I watched the Winton race and got to see the most Australian pit stop I've ever seen in my life. I've forgotten his name. Brown, number 9,
Yeah,
where they
Will
forgot to,
Brown.
Will Brown, where they forgot to put his tyre back on, and he got to yell out the great Aussies saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake," as he was spinning around with no back tyre, and then got penalised for having unsafe rotating wheels, which sounds kind of stupid in motorsport because your wheels are always rotating, and
When it's a safety thing though, because when the car's jacked up, if the wheel's rotating and someone's trying to, it'll rip off a hand or something like that. Essentially.
oh yeah, it looked
Yeah.
looked pretty bad. Oh, that
So
was my
it is actually quite a big safety thing, that one. Why they do it, but yeah, it does seem a little bit ridiculous.
my other question, Dave, which I noticed because I paid slightly more attention. There's 3 sort of gear knobs inside a supercar. I'm just going to guess what they are, and you tell me if I get any of them right. One of them is the gear stick, right? There's 2
Correct.
more. One of them, I'm guessing, is a handbrake, and the other one is for a turbo kick-in, like Fast and the Furious Vin Diesel style. Are any of them correct?
The gear stick was.
I thought so, because I saw them gearing up and down.
The other one is the anti-roll bar and then the brake bias.
I thought they actually had 4, two front, one front, one rear.
That's even worse for me.
Then the brake.
So how's the roll cage
could
one
be
work?
the 2.
Yeah.
Essentially stiffens or softens
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
suspension.
Yeah. Graham's right. NOS. One of them is a NOS button. And then on the straight, you just push it, and then the Vin Diesel mode kicks in.
That's the Shane Van Gisbergen button.
Well,
I'm sick of following this guy. I'll just pass him now.
So is SVG the Hamilton of supercars at the moment, or?
From what Dave said, it sounds like he is.
Yeah.
Well, he does just win everything, but I don't know.
He didn't win on the weekend.
He doesn't fly around in private jets and try to tell me to look after the environment and stuff.
I don't think he makes enough money for that, Dave. He's he probably travels around on a really nice bus that's got air conditioning.
He seems a little bit more down to earth. But Shane also, he'll go and drive anything, even if he's not going to win. So whereas someone else,
and Lee's correct. He doesn't have 12 watches. I think he only wears 1.
He's got a nice WB Calais that he gets driven around in.
He drives himself. He's a man of the people.
Yeah.
And he probably owns a dingo instead of what's Lewis got? The little bulldog.
Oh yeah, the Roscoe and
yeah.
I'm trying to think what the other one's name is.
Wait, he's got 2. I've only seen the
one.
But
you only ever see Roscoe now.
Yeah.
Because he did have 2.
Ah.
Yeah. They had to give him special passes.
SVG getting into World Rally.
He came second in his first rally cup in Canberra.
Ooh.
I just can't see him going and doing anything overseas permanently. I think he'll go and do
it. How old is he? Is he in his 30s now?
Yeah, he'd have to be early 30s now.
Yeah. He's probably too old to get into open wheelers over there. But something
he
like...
could, but I couldn't see him going and doing something like that. Like being away from home for full time. Like I could see him go and do Le Mans and things like that, but I couldn't see him doing like what McLaughlin's done.
Yeah, I could see him doing something like the DTM series where it's only a short series, and I reckon he'd do well in that too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, it's still GT3 based, isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
New Zealand World Rally. I thought they were the same. Is there a separate New Zealand to Australia one now? I thought they were the one.
There's a WRC round in New Zealand.
Oh, just a round. So he can just fly over, have a race, come back.
Yeah.
He'll need 2 watches then, Dave. One for New Zealand time, one for...
Just Centre will let him into the country.
33. Graham Graham and Boovy were thinking the same thing.
Yeah. You got beaten there on that one, Boovy.
Yeah, Graham's just a little too quick.
Graham was all over it 3 seconds before.
Graham's got pole position on answering questions now. So, Boovy, you're still on the front grid, but the front row. But
yeah. Anyone got the same answer? Yes. Lee. Anyway, IndyCar. This is what we came here for, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think.
Well, that's the main event this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to the 2-hour break between Monaco and IndyCar. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Are you going to change? Is it 2 different streaming services as well?
Yes. Yeah. KO to Stan.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's good 2 hours to change from one to the other. But...
This is why you need 2 monitors, so you can just have replays and stuff on the big wall of information.
I've got to find what to do for 2 hours in the middle of the night while I wait for the next one to start.
I think it's called a power nap. Just have a...
Yeah.
I'm scared because when I was younger, like 15, 16, 17, I used to watch IndyCar every weekend. Back in the days when the only way you knew what time it started was because you had to go by the TV guide to find it.
Oh, remember what was it called? TV Week.
Old days. Yeah. That was it, yeah, TV Week.
TV Week. And you had 4 channels. We sound like old people now. We only had 4 channels and we liked them.
Yeah, because I was so young, I'd set my alarm for whatever time it was in the morning. And of course it would go on and I'd throw the alarm clock across the room and go back to sleep. And there was no chance of watching a replay because
you didn't get replays.
Yeah, Channel 9 wasn't going to play a replay at a sensible time.
You just had to watch it there and then, or that was the end of it. Yeah,
that's right. Channel 10, was it Sunday afternoon? They do catch-ups?
Maybe.
They did like a weird, they had a show. I remember they had like a TV show where they did all different sports. Because I remember that's where they had the World Rally.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of
like
supercar drivers.
Sports.
Yeah, they had the Channel 10 equivalent of Wide World of Sports.
Yeah. They also had Sports Tonight that was on every night of the week.
Sports Tonight was the best show ever. Yeah, that was on just before Letterman.
Except for the host had the same name as me.
RPM, that's right. That's right, Boovy.
So I'd get random people at like 11 o'clock at night going, "Did you know you're on TV?" Like 8 years after it's been on.
Sunday afternoons they'd repeat the full Indy race.
Oh, really?
Saturday afternoon.
I never knew that. I used to either stay up or get up early or whatever, and
I think Saturday afternoons for me was watching the wrestling. Wide World of Sports would have 2 hours of WWF.
Yeah, Sunday usually I was probably in the fetal position crying because I had a too big a night Saturday night. One thing I was going in circles.
So who are we predicting for the race? Can you predict anyone?
Well, I can't guess Johnny Clutch and Max Power because I've been told they're not real.
Yeah, I think my problem is I like too many of the drivers. I
do find that hard.
Yeah, there's like 15 guys on there who, if they want to be happy as shit for, I'd like to see Will Power win because Aussie.
Yeah,
definitely. Or Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah, Scott.
The other bloke.
Scott Dixon's a bit hard to claim as their own since no one here knows.
I find it funny though. Like I haven't warmed to Scott Dixon. And I was still following Champ Car when he came in with Pac West and that, and was really excited by it. But I don't know. I just can't get behind him at the moment.
Yeah, he's a strange guy. I'm pretty happy watching the Fast Six qualifying in him.
That was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. But yeah, I have no idea. I'd like to see Ed Carpenter win. Like he's like it's pretty much the only race he does.
Yeah,
that would be kind
that's
of
the only
cool.
one he cares about.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he's still there every year
Yeah.
because he just missed the Fast Six, didn't he?
No,
Or was
he's
he the sixth?
yeah. I think hang on.
Yeah, because him and VK made it in,
Yeah.
and it was the other four Ganassi cars.
Yes, he was fifth, and Kanar was sixth, and then yeah, he's fourth on the grid now. But yeah, there's so many of them are just such nice people, and I want to see them win. Yeah.
Yeah. The other one,
They could all cross together.
Graham has been really winding me up with his whinging. Yeah, because they can't say Graham.
Brown.
It's Graham Rahal.
Yeah,
Graham Rahal.
he's been winning a fair bit.
Yeah.
Grosjean.
What Grosjean did wasn't quite right, but
No.
yeah, it was a bit like, well, you picked
the
the
first
right
part was
person.
okay. The first part was okay. The second one was a bit shitty, but yeah, they drove away from it. Everyone was fine.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, when Graham says he's going to, get him back for it or whatever, it's like, well, get you back for what?
Yeah, that's just like NASCAR though. Like if someone spins you in one race, you spin them in the next race.
We didn't spin him or do any damage or anything.
No.
So,
Yeah. But that's actually one thing I love about Indy cars is they can take a good beating and just keep driving.
yeah, and there is a little bit of that flexibility.
They don't complain and say like a driver came out of nowhere and just tried to smash me off the road.
Grosjean overtaking in the corkscrew at the Laguna Seca and ends up with all four wheels off the road, smashes into the other guy, knocks him off the track, keeps going. Nothing said. No one had a complaint about it. It's like carry on.
Play on. That was exciting.
Yeah. But then in F1, the cars will just get within a couple of centimeters of each other and everything explodes.
Oh, if they touch, there's an incident report, and then there's both of them get on the radio and say, Dave tapped my wheel. I felt threatened. He
touched me.
Yeah,
he waved aggressively.
He got near my special area. Oh no, 7 minutes over, Dave. Again, we've gone over.
We'll just do it this 1 week, okay?
Yeah, this week.
We promise next week will be 1 hour, and that's it.
We'll cut it off there. Also, yeah, Graham, I think it was called RPM, was the afternoon show where they just played all of the motorsport.
Yeah, where they did the wrap up kind of thing.
It was and I've forgotten the host, but it was like it was an old supercar driver.
Billy Woods was the original host.
Yes,
on it.
Yeah, I remember. They had a few of them. They had a weird set.
Wasn't there one on SBS or something on a Sunday that was just
Speed Week?
Speed Week, and they just had drag racing. And
yeah, they had the drag racing ones. Yeah, that was
the
cool
stuff that no one else at Telecom buys.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was always good because we'd be hanging out with mates and we'd just have that on all day and just cars.
I think SBS and Channel 31 had some of the best. Because I think Channel 31 had a weird car show too, but I think it was just. I'm going to Dave's garage. What do you got here, Dave? Oh, just a Tirana. Oh, nice. What's in here? Got an engine? You want to look at it? Yeah, all right. Let's talk about my Tirana for 20 minutes. I mean, we can't talk. We've spent an hour and 10 minutes talking about probably just the same level of intellect.
Probably lower.
Oh, Boovy's taken pole position off Graham with Speed Week.
He's beaten you this time, Graham.
Oh, it's really heating up on the answers now. I think that's a equal footing right now. It's like Ferrari and Red Bull. Graham, you get to pick if you want to be Red Bull or Ferrari for this this competition.
Yeah.
Who said that about the Gen 3s?
When are the Gen 3s coming? I feel like they were
next year.
That's what I'm
Did
sure.
they say that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long way off.
It was a couple of next years.
Yeah.
who's first to put their car in the wall at Monaco, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say a Ferrari driver.
I'll say Sonoda.
I'm just like thinking.
Sonoda.
Yeah. They're like practice or something.
Oh, you reckon it'll happen in practice?
Yeah, first crash.
Oh, someone always wins it in
Sainz.
practice.
Do you reckon
Sainz will have to write off like at least 3 cars.
Ferrari haven't got the budget to keep repairing.
Can the driver bring some extra money to fix their car? Like, Latifi just grabs some more cash off Daddy.
Take it out of my pay packet.
You reckon Latifi's got like the Monaco equivalent of RACV just on speed dial? Just wait for a minute. I'm going to do something stupid. I just don't know when.
Yeah, that'll be Leclerc. This is from there. And he rings up RACV and he's like, oh, I need a tow truck. He's like, oh, no, we have to send the car out first.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, the wheels are off.
You've used all your toes for this year.
I imagine the tow truck's probably just some sort of high-end sports car that just drags them back. They can sit on the top, take them to their yacht.
Gold-plated Maserati.
Do we have any more? Are there any more drivers now that can just storm off to their yacht if they have a crash? Because I do like watching the old walk-off and just go straight to the yacht and just sit there.
Would have been better if they had a camera go follow him and you just see him sit down in the boat.
Well, who was it where they followed one of them? They followed one of them back to his yacht, and he just sat, he sat there. This was back like years and years ago. Obviously, Hamilton doesn't have a yacht because it's carbon footprint and all. He has a little dinghy, and he rows himself like up and down and catches some.
That'd be good because I'd follow him and like have a full documentary.
Who let this guy in, Dave?
Yeah, guess where all that noise was coming from.
He's destroying this.
That was my VR headset. Something nice and cheap to throw.
Oh, I think you meant to say that's your fancy hat. For
that's my fancy hat.
Your VR hat.
Just so no one can sneak up on me.
Oh yeah, it was Kimmy that stormed off into the onto his yacht. I think he just got up.
Did they actually follow him with a camera?
I think there was. Yeah, they didn't like get onto him.
Yeah.
But like I think they filmed it from a distance. Yeah, because he essentially just got up and went, "Well, I'm done for the day. My work here is done. I can leave.
Yeah.
The engineers will look after the car. I'm all right."
Yeah. And the team weren't impressed. Well, there's been a few of them over the years in the start like this because I know Senna once disappeared and went back home.
Yeah.
Pulled the old phone off the receiver or whatever.
I think Max
so no one could ring him.
Max did it a couple of years ago. He said he was sitting at his hotel drinking a gin, watching the.
Yeah, camera zoom. That's right. They followed it. They didn't follow him to the yacht, but they had footage of him just quitting. It was beer o'clock, and he decided it was just quitting time. That it was 5 o'clock somewhere.
Nick a few vodkas.
He phoned up ahead and got his martinis. I just had them sitting there. Simple times, Dave.
I think Monaco, they should do something different. Like, not allowed to have front and rear wings on the cars or something. Just
or design cars that fit around the track rather than constantly making them bigger.
So make narrow cars for Monaco, or just for street circuits, have narrower cars.
Have a
smaller cars in general.
Have a prepped F2 car for the F1 drivers to race, like so they're all identical.
Yeah, but then it would show which drivers were better in an F2 car than certain others who have to have the fastest car to win.
Yeah.
Oh, are they getting smaller in 2026, Lee? I thought they would just keep making them bigger and bigger.
Yeah, smaller.
And then the plan is to actually make them smaller.
I'm surprised they're not making SUVs.
Yeah, I was going to say 2050 they become F350s, and you can't overtake anyone. You just got to go over people.
The size of them now, though, is pretty big. Because I
Yeah.
think last year the Mercedes was like 6 meters long.
Hmm.
Oh
Which
wow,
is
it's a decent length. Yeah.
that's probably about as, yeah.
Hmm.
But I think because they're taking out one of the MGU-H or whatever as well, which is going to make it easier to package it all. Yeah.
Maybe we should get them all in Indy cars. See how they go.
That's what they
That
bring
would
the Indy
be
cars to Monaco.
interesting.
Indy cars in Monaco would be fantastic.
Yep.
Because you would actually see some passing.
Yeah. Well, the Formula E there last year, there was heaps of passing from what I heard.
So what was that? Formula what?
Well, we don't talk about Formula E here. It's
I didn't watch it.
you get a strike against your name for bringing it up.
I actually, I put it on and left the house.
That's how that. Well, fuck it, I'm burning the house.
just used as much power as I could. And left the house.
I've accidentally watched this now. I need to go bleach my eyes, so I've forgotten what happened.
I watched their their Netflix thing that they did on their Drive to Survive or whatever that they put on YouTube.
Is it called Drive to E-Survive?
I can't remember what it was.
Just more jokes, more great jokes.
I can't remember. Yeah, if the Formula E channel or whatever. It didn't seem that bad off when they put in all the clips of the exciting bits of the races for the year or whatever. It actually seemed alright, but
the bits I've watched, some of the exciting bits are actually pretty cool. But I don't really know any of the drivers. I'm just not. I don't know. I think I'm just following way too much racing series to add an extra one in there as well.
That's the other problem as well. But especially, I remember like in the early '90s and that when you got the supercars or the Australian touring cars at bloody midnight or whatever on Channel 7 and F1 IndyCar, and then you get the bloody BTCC.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like you didn't get to watch even local series and that didn't get televised.
Yeah.
So
I watched F2, F3, F1, IndyCar. Was watching Rallycross for a long time, but that just changes way too much, and I can never remember who's driving each year. It got to a point where I was just trying to watch too many different series, and it got too hard.
Just a quick question for Lee. Are you getting a refund on your Cybertruck? I've heard that they might not be coming to Australia. I heard that.
Are they even happening?
Well, I think they're happening in America, but I heard that Australians were getting refunds on their Cybertruck.
Okay. Damn.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
I won't order one now.
Well, I just had an idea, Dave. Cybertruck racing series.
We've kind of got that, but
wasn't
that actual engines in it, and it's not brilliant.
Wasn't that the Jaguar SUV racing that was with Formula E?
Yes.
Race? That was actually better than the Formula E.
I never saw that.
Not to get executed.
They're racing the Jaguar EV SUVs around the tracks, and they were pretty fun. Because I was pretty sure they were using the street tires and everything, and it's just slamming into each other, and it's good fun.
So there is a chance for SUV racing.
Yeah,
if it's done right.
Isn't that what the super trucks are, or whatever they are?
You remember, Dave, when they had the super trucks at the was it Albert Park? They had
tradie trucks are just SUVs for men. Got a tray on the back; it makes it much better. A tray that's not usable.
It turns them all into race cars.
Yeah, well,
they go even faster around corners when you jack them up.
Yeah, and they seem to be able to sit 3 inches off your back bumper. and know
Yeah.
their brakes are going to stop. I just love dragging them off at lights because I think they're going to beat me.
They think they're going to beat Matt and don't win most of the time.
Hey, I drive a finely tuned sports car. I told you before, I tried to drag off a Tesla purely just to see it take off in a stupid mode. It turns out they can take off quite quickly.
Yes.
But I got what I wanted. I got to see the Tesla take off at great speed.
Nice.
I mean,
When they go, they're pretty impressive.
Yeah. The only problem is, Dave, the next traffic light was 100 meters in front, so he literally got to the red light quicker than me, and then had to sit next to me for the next 3 traffic lights. So who really won that race?
Did you just sit there and stare at them like awkwardly?
It was just sort of like you've spent 90 grand on this just to sit next to me. Graham, I think I would say the Maloo would hold the most laps and would look the coolest.
Yeah, Maloo. What was the weight handling of a Maloo though? It was probably 40 kilos in the back of that thing.
Yeah, depends on how big the wheels were.
Yeah.
I think if you had the 18s, it took about 80 kilos. The
If you had-
19s was about 60, and the 20s,
But Dave, you
had
get
the
the
feather
slap
in there and it was over.
Chrome plated 22s on it. With Nankang tyres. It probably needed the weight so you might get a little bit more grip.
Have they ever been used for a tradie situation, the Maloos, or were they just, as I saw them, to race up and down Lygon Street and freeways?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they didn't actually hold anything, did they?
The load rating was very low.
I've never seen a Maloo with anything in the back.
It would have been very, very limited, the ones that got used as a ute.
I thought as much. I just saw them do, Well, here we
They
go.
were good looking utes, though.
Yes, they were. For ute racing, put wood slabs in the back of them, and whoever has the most after a race wins. I like that idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
The Maloo towed jet skis. It did. They did. They towed jet skis.
I like the old ute, the newer ute racing, when it was more whoever didn't roll by the end of the race won.
They tried to flip one of them at Winton.
I saw that.
But unfortunately, he turned out of it. So, yeah.
Just kept going. Just give that roll.
You should have gone with it. Yeah.
Like the
Steer
stadium
into
crowd.
it.
So, we've definitely covered off everything.
Yeah.
Dave, if you
It's all
don't
clear as
mind,
mud.
I have another race series which people need to be aware of, and I warned you about this before, so this is entirely your fault. I don't know if everyone's aware.
Rob hasn't been pre-warned about this one.
Rob, you're in for a treat, Rob. So we were talking about Formula E. I have found the next greatest racing series: electric scooters. They have started an electric scooter championship, and that is absolute garbage.
I saw bits of this and I liked it. I was just like,
it was stupid. Rob, it was so dumb that I ended up watching an hour of footage, and there's only like 30 minutes of
was there
footage.
any crashes though?
There was a guy that fell over. Rob, there's not a crash. There is a slow speed turn where a man falls over. That's what the crashes are. They drive at 30 kilometers an hour, which I worked out is just me riding a bicycle at a normal speed.
Is that? I want to see like 120 plus.
No, they say they can do up to 100. If you put on the boost or their electronic DRS, they do go up to 70.
They got like a little wing that pops down on the back.
It looks so, the guy fell over in like the slowest way possible. And they show the onboard camera footage, and the camera even takes like 5 minutes to change. Like that's how slow he falls over. They wear full leathers. I don't know why. You're not going fast enough to.
They should be in shorts and thongs.
It should be, but they've got like specially made e-scooters. They have a turbo boost. They've got a set amount of boost for each race. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and I'm going to watch it every week. And I will give everyone updates. So currently, the champion is Matthias Neyroud. He's from Switzerland.
Yes.
And just to give it some legitimacy, Nico Hulkenberg was there. I believe he has a team. So keep an eye on this.
What we're going to have to... What we need is some links to watch this so we can actually chat about it next week.
We will, because this is look at it. It's called e-scooter championship, and it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I cannot stop watching it.
Is this YouTube?
Yep, they have a channel, and one of the commentators is very, very enthusiastic about the event, like a little too much. Ron, I wish there was a Formula segue because I would watch that too.
I'm subscribed.
like and subscribe, Rob, because it's going to take. There's 4 races. I think they've got a race in France, America, Spain, and somewhere else.
Nice.
But
so this actually goes around the world.
Oh, Dave, this is a legitimate thing.
So London was the last race?
London was the first race, Rob. The first and only race.
Oh.
So,
all right.
So we're getting in on the ground level.
So everyone jump on the bandwagon now because...
Are you saying we should start just like a YouTube channel on this series and then we'll be the only ones covering it?
Yeah.
we could actually do a live... actually we do like a watch and commentate.
And you know what's really embarrassing about it, Dave? You watch it and you like when you watch F1, you can see like a sense of speed. Like you understand that these people are doing like 250, 300 kilometers an hour. These are people essentially getting to work from,
So it's like going for a bike ride and watching the e-scooters.
It's
on the bike paths.
It's that, Dave, but it's filmed in 1080p and it's got commentators. You'll start watching it and you just wish there was more footage of because they try to make like overtakes sound exciting, but it's so hard to describe how stupid it is. I've essentially just written a note here. Looks dumb, and I think I got that.
That sums it up.
Yeah, crashes are funny, and then they race into like an empty, abandoned building where they had about 30 fans screaming for them.
So
but the weird thing,
whole fan base.
Well, the full races had a total of 4,868 views.
And I think 1,000 of them was me just constantly watching it because I did not believe what I was seeing. It's and they've got the pit crew is essentially a table, and they put the scooter on top of the table, and then one person with compressed air cleans out the scooter, and that's the pit crew, and recharges the battery.
Why do they need to clean it out?
Well, Dave, when you're ripping, G's going around the corner and stuff, it sucks in all that dirt, and you got to clean it out and keep the engine going.
So they have different racing pounds?
I think they have one tire set up. I've got some stats here. They weigh 40 kilograms. They have a 60-volt battery, 2 6-kilowatt engines, and there's 30 drivers that go into the 24 into the quarterfinals. Then the top 3 of each of those races goes to the semi, and then the top 3 of that goes into the final.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got everything.
Slow moving. What we're doing after this.
Everyone's going to keep me awake all night.
Yeah. Just wait, Dave. Next week, that's all people will want to talk about. Get in now, so you'll remember when Netflix do a special on it, and you're like, I was there before. It was cool.
We won't be talking about the Indy 500 next week. Nope. It'll just be e-scooter championship.
E-scooters
all the way.
Yep.
I can't wait.
What I would do is speed up the footage. Do it at 2 times just to make it look a bit more exciting. E-scooter. The problem is, motorsports is they don't go. I think they only last like a race because the batteries get drained so quickly when they use the boost.
Don't they just use like the ones they hire off the street and then just dump them in the river afterwards?
It looks like they've done. They leave them up a tree.
I'm looking forward to extreme e-scootering, where they're like doing dance stuff. I want to see broken bones and just.
You want to see like ramps, like they can just fly off like a boost.
Jumps,
especially because they don't really have any sort of suspension in them. That'd be fantastic.
No. You know what I want to see? I want to see like tricks. I want to see them go over a ramp and do like a kickflip and then keep driving, and you get points for it.
Yeah, I'm in for this.
Oh, they also have a constructors cup championship too, Dave. So there's a bunch of teams, and you get points for the individual driver and then points for your team. I assume like constructor points, and at the end of the year they give out a trophy to the constructor and the driver.
No prize.
So Barry, who
prize
used
money.
Barry, who used the compressed air, the best, gets a trophy.
Yeah, it got thrilling in one of the races because one of the guys had 5 seconds of boost left to try to overtake a guy. Didn't have enough boost, and he just missed it. And then at the end of the race, though, they hugged. So they seem too friendly to each other.
They don't seem friendly when they pass me on the bike path.
It does seem very aggressive, but then at the end, they're just all happy.
Yeah. And the two girls who came past me on the footpath the other week didn't seem too impressed when I told them to get off. In a nice way.
What I do on the push bike is overtake them at like 31 k's an hour.
Just fast enough.
Just to rub it in.
They can go very slightly faster.
Look at you, Dave, using your legs to overtake people as opposed to just pushing a button.
I don't think anyone has a one that's just standard around here. Because the ones go down and me just.
Oh yeah, they're just.
Yeah, and like they're always
some of them are out of control.
T-shirt, and I'm just looking forward to just seeing one go flying off, and then
I nearly got to see one go down one day.
I would like to see one drive into a creek, like just miss the turn off and just drive straight into like the Yarrow or something, just
give them a nudge as they go past you.
A cheeky hip and shoulder on your way through, Dave.
You don't even need to. Just go. And then they get the speed bubbles and fall off. If you push them,
just tell them there's a gas guzzler just like over there somewhere. They're like, where? I must defend the e-scooters.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all doing it just for the environment.
No.
Well,
I
the
think
promo
some of them might be because they don't have a car license.
Or
they may have lost it and now they've got this.
Well, that's what I mean, like DUIs and things like that.
It's not bad. They get enough range to get to, well, for me to get to work. It'd be fun.
I think, Dave, we might have to hire some and we could have our own race series.
Ooh.
We could host the Australian event because I checked, there's none coming to Australia.
We'll set up our own Australian series.
We'll get some of the high ones and go down to the go-kart, go to a go-kart track and race them.
Yes.
Maybe not that big, maybe like an RC track.
With jumps?
We will, Dave, we will hire some scooters. I think later on in the year, we are definitely hiring scooters and we are definitely having a race series. Because Dave, think about it. In a couple of months, e-scooters, as I predict, will take off and be the most popular sport. We need to get in early and be the trendsetters.
Well, that's it. We can get in on the ground floor with this.
Yeah.
So if you get in early enough, you can be one of the top riders before everyone else gets in.
Yeah. So Dave, instead of hearing what are these middle-aged men doing on scooters, it'll be check out those cool guys on scooters. They are trendsetters.
Winning.
Yeah. If there's only 3 people in the championship, you got a good chance.
Oh yeah, Hat Simulator's got an idea, Dave. We take it to Bathurst.
Oh.
Would it get up the hill though?
No.
Oh.
Wouldn't get up the hill with me.
That's a big hill.
Lee, they do have them in Melbourne, and yes, they are a menace. But we will be race car drivers, so we'll be respected because we're obviously different.
It's different, yeah. We'll have fans.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get a VR scooter game.
Ooh. I just checked the budget. There's no money in it to buy a VR scooter.
I'm not sure what's better, the hat simulator or the VR scooter game.
100% hat simulator. Hat simulator is still taken. It will take off, Dave. But we will have a e-scooter series here in Australia. I don't know, Rob, if you've got a GoPro, but I think each one of us GoPro on our head.
Yeah.
And
I've got one.
Off we go. Perfect.
oh yeah, that's the good thing, Dave. With the scooters, you can fit more people. You can have like 50 or 60 of them just taken off.
Yeah.
We probably have 200 on the track and it'll still be empty.
Yeah, like,
No
depends
one
on the
will
size
show up.
of the track. That's why I suggested RC tracks.
Yeah. Well,
Because they're the
Bathurst,
right size.
you probably need about 3,000 or 4,000 to.
Because then you could start off with like 3,000 or 4,000 and just like knock a few out and just get it smaller and smaller.
This is where they need weapons. What was that? What was that game
Road
back
Rash.
in Road Rash? Yeah.
Road Rash.
Yeah. Something like Road Rash. That'd be much more entertaining.
Actually, yeah. Oh, hat simulator, e-scooter champ. Yeah, that's right. The more hats you get, the faster you go. The hats have got batteries in them. I like where this is going. You got battery hats. That's it.
Yes.
And on that note, once again, we've just been over our 1 hour limit.
Just a smidge.
So
That's right.
we'll say thanks for the live stream and enjoy the racing over the weekend. We'll see you same place, same time next week.
See you all.
See you, everyone.